All right, so you know those dates that start out amazing, like the chemistry is just off the charts, but then they end in a way you literally could never, ever have seen coming? Yeah, I'm about to tell you about the time I became a third wheel on my own dinner date.
I mean, have you ever been in that situation? You're on a date, things are going great, and then suddenly you realize, wait a minute, I'm not the main character here. It's such a weird feeling, right? Well, let me tell you, my story takes that feeling and cranks it up to 11. Okay, so let's set the scene. Picture it, summer 2024, Austin, Texas. It is hot. You know that sticky, can't breathe kind of hot? I'm 31, I'm a coder, and I'm just getting out of a relationship. So, you know what that means. I'm back on Tinder, scrolling away, basically just looking for someone to grab a drink with in a place with some serious AC.
And that's when I see her. Taylor. Man, her profile just pops. It's all sunshine and energy, which, for a guy who stares at code all day, was a huge breath of fresh air. She's got this amazing smile, her bio was all about planning the next big thing. She just seemed like the perfect antidote to this brutal Austin summer.
And the banter, it was instant, just effortless. We're talking about everything, you know? Best true crime podcasts, which Tex-Mex place has the best queso, the important stuff. Her first message to me was so clever, and boom, by Tuesday we had a dinner date locked in for Thursday. It just felt really easy, super promising.
So I picked this spot, Fabi plus Rosie. It's this cozy little Italian joint with a patio that's like perfectly designed for first dates. You know the vibe, string lights, ivy climbing the walls, the whole shebang. I get there a little early, grab a nice cold Peroni, and just kind of settle in. Smells like garlic and basil. I'm feeling really, really good about this.
She shows up a few minutes late, looks a little frazzled, but then she flashes this smile that just lights up the whole place. And right away, the conversation is just flowing. We're laughing our heads off. I'm telling her about this total disaster of a coding project, and she's telling me about a groom who literally ran away from a wedding she was planning. The connection was just, man, it was electric, totally undeniable. And then, as she's laughing, she says this to me, and at the same time, her foot kind of playfully bumps mine under the table. And I'm sitting there thinking, yes, this is it. This is a perfect first date. I had absolutely no idea what was coming next. The night was about to get, well, really, really weird.
Okay, so this is where everything just goes completely off the rails. I mean, 1 minute we're sharing wine, flirting, everything is great. The next, well, the vibe shifts, big time.
So her phone buzzes. She glances down, flips it over, no big deal. Then it buzzes again. She lets out this little sigh, says something like, client meltdown, and excuses herself to take a call. She comes back a minute later. She seems a little flushed, but I just figure, hey, she's an event planner. It's a high-stress job, right? Always on call.
She looks at me with this kind of sly grin and says that. And my brain just goes into overdrive. A surprise? What kind of surprise? Like, did you bring dessert? Did you win the lottery? Are you giving me a puppy? My mind is just racing. And before I can even really process it, she waves someone over from the front of the restaurant. And all of a sudden, this tall guy with a beard, wearing one of those craft brewery t-shirts, is sliding into the booth right next to her. She just casually goes, "Hey Alex, meet Jordan, my best friend." Like this is a totally normal thing to do. And just like that, poof, my amazing first date, my romantic dinner for two, has just become a super, super awkward party of three.
The rest of the dinner was, oh man, it was a masterclass in awkward. They're just swapping inside jokes I'm not in on, talking about college stories, and I'm just sitting there, you know, nodding, trying to smile, feeling like a total stranger at my own table. I go home that night completely confused, and then the next day, I get a text from her that just makes things even weirder. A divorce? Okay, that's news to me. She's telling me it's all fresh, that it's amicable, he's her rock, all of that. But the whole time I'm thinking, something is not right here. The vibe wasn't just best friends. It felt, I don't know, it felt like an interrogation, like I was being sized up by her husband, or not so ex-husband.
And then, a few days later, it all clicks into place. I'm at my go-to coffee shop, and who do I see? Them, holding hands, looking very, very much not divorced. So of course, morbid curiosity takes over. I pull up Tinder, find her profile, and there it is. The proof. New photos, couple pics with Jordan. And the bio? It now says, happily hitched since UT. The whole thing was a lie. The date wasn't a date at all. It was some kind of bizarre test, and I was the guinea pig.
So, Fast forward a few months. The whole thing has kind of become this weird, funny story I tell my friends. And then, I'm at a wedding out in the hill country, and I see her. Of course, she's the wedding planner. And I just knew, right then and there, I was about to get the final chapter to this crazy story. We end up chatting for a bit, polite small talk, and she actually admits it. She tells me Jordan bailed on her not long after their little experiment. I guess he wasn't super thrilled with her, let's call it a unique method for testing the waters. And you know what? I wasn't even angry. It was just this quiet, satisfying feeling of, yep, I knew it. My gut was right the whole time.
So what did I learn from this whole debacle? Well, a few things. First, vetting your date is one thing, but this was next level. You gotta ask for the full story up front. And look, I get that dating can feel like a team sport sometimes, but you really should show up solo. Because let me tell you, a third wheel doesn't just rock the boat, it sinks the entire evening before it even gets going.
So that's my story. Now I've got to ask, what about you? Got a double-booked disaster of your own? I mean, have you ever been on a date that felt less like a date and more like an episode of some wild reality show? It really makes you wonder what other crazy dating stories are out there, right?